Alright, it says I'm live, so I think I'm live. So I want to, I have information that's really clear information coming from the Bible, and it takes a second to understand it, and I guess what I'm saying is I want to explain how I come to this knowledge that I have, and it's not that it's some special knowledge. It's something that is just apparent, and you can see it too. I got a couple things to do here. First, let's watch just part of this video, like 2 minutes of it, I think, and we'll just pay attention to some of the things that have happened, and then I'll kind of break in the middle of it and explain it. So let's watch a couple minutes of this.
Capture confirmed. She confirms. On behalf of Ripley, Little Earth, myself, and our crew, welcome to the Crew Dragon. Congratulations to all of the teams who made yesterday's launch and today's docking a success. These amazing feats show us not how easy our mission is, but how capable we are of doing hard things.
Okay, I'm gonna pop back in here. All right. Hopefully everything's working and you can hear everything. So what she's in, what she just climbed into this, she's up on this space station that is, they say it's orbiting the Earth. And so she's on this space station, and Crew Dragon just flew up to the space station for the first time for a test mission, and connected and docked to the space station, and she climbed in there and everything went successfully. So now she's just saying welcome to a new era in space, whatever. Actually, she's gonna say that, so I'll just play that part. Whoops.
Welcome to the new era in spaceflight.
Okay. In this capsule, which actually we're gonna do a. I'm gonna give you my desktop, so you're gonna see what I'm seeing. All right. Whoops. Okay, there's the live stream. SpaceX Red Dragon. See this on this? Hopefully you're seeing my screen. I think you are. SpaceX Red Dragon. It's just a capsule that they stick on top of a rocket and they launch it. And then it docked to the space station. That's the story, okay? It rides on a Falcon Heavy. Well, it launched on a Falcon 9, so it isn't the exact same concept as the 2001 or 11 to 2017. But this holds 7 passengers, which you could see when she was inside of there. You could see they had a dummy strapped in there. And so anyway, let's go to back, or actually I'm going to go to Revelation 12. I should have had that up already. Because this story's in there, and it is like Take on the World is happening right now, and I know they're not going to be talking about anything like this. I mean, I think they would want to be if they understood what was happening, but there's some kind of limitation on what people can understand. I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm just experiencing, understanding these things, and that they're happening now, and everybody else seems to be saying, oh yeah, they're gonna happen. And I'm like, no, you missed it. They already happened. But that's why we have the scriptures, because that's exactly why we have the book of Revelation. Because well, let me go. I always got to review this, but people forget what this book is about. Look what it says: to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. That's what this book is for. And this book is, where does it say that? It's the testimony of Jesus, right here. Who bear record of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ and all the things that he saw. It's a vision. I just wanted to go over that again. It's a vision of what the world would look like at the time when Jesus was gonna return. So it's very important information. And so let's look at Revelation 12, which if you looked at that video that I just played, it kind of reviewed this. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, and she being with child. So this is another important thing, being with child. There's a child going to be born, okay? Travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. So let's just review this. A woman clothed with the sun. I'm just going to say that I believe that we saw that September 23rd, 2017. And since then, and even at that time, but it hadn't launched at that time. It just launched. What was it? I'm not even sure what date that was, but it was very recently. It was maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I'm actually not sure, but when they did that demo 1 launch with that, the first time they ever flew that Red Dragon capsule. And we'll get to that in a minute, because it says right here, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. But it is interesting that that's the dragon version 2. That's the one that she was in. when she was doing her little speech thing. And the Dragon version 1, since 2012, they built 10 of them, and they have been resupplying the space station contracted by NASA. SpaceX has, with their Dragon version 1. And actually, I'll just show a picture of that. It looks almost the same. It's, I should have searched SpaceX. Dragon version 15. Let's look at images. Okay, this one right here is the Crew Dragon, the one we've been talking about. It has these like eye looking things because it's got thrusters there. But this one, this is the one that has been resupplying the space station. They built 10 of these. So it's interesting to me in Revelation 12 when it says having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. The numbers there just work out very interesting to me because it has 7, the Crew Dragon has 7 passengers, or the Red Dragon, whatever they call them, a lot of different things. But and his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So now, I tried to show that in that video with the... Let's see, it's probably going to be easier for me to... Let's see here. Sorry. I'm not real good at knowing what to do here. It's going to start the video over. I'll just turn the sound off for a minute and we'll skip around. I just want to show you okay, this right here. Whoops. I'm in the way. Okay, the sign, of those stars, and then the dragon capsule up in heaven, red dragon. Okay, John said this is something John saw, and if you believe that we live in the end times, let me go back to what am I doing? Desktop? I think that's right. I'm not good at this stuff. Okay. Just the idea that a red dragon, he saw a red dragon in heaven, a wonder in heaven. So I'm just saying that that's invisible to people or something. Like, people don't consider it as a real thing what the words actually say. And behold, a great red dragon, and his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. Well, it's interesting that its tail in this case would be the rocket, the booster, which is the Falcon 9, which is the only rocket that has ever gone and delivered something to orbit, a dragon at that, and come back down and landed using thrust, which is literally making fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So let's check out this war in heaven. I want to explain how this war happens and that it's actually a real thing that's happening, and it's really bad. But there's so many people that it's like everybody that they don't think it's really a war. And not only that, they don't understand that we're fighting in it. And I want to explain that, because I think people would be so much better at fighting in a war if they knew they were fighting in a war. If they didn't think that there was just all this weird stuff happening in the world. And then at the same time they're saying, yeah, I believe we live in the end times, but they're like, they won't believe the stuff that I've just mentioned about the red dragon up in heaven. I mean, that should get everyone's attention. Be like, oh, there was a red dragon in heaven, and we saw that September 23rd thing, well, maybe we should read on and keep going, it's like, but let's see here. So the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So this child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Well, if this child is what I think it is, then that hasn't happened yet. But so the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So let me go say two other things. Back in Revelation 7, the servants of God are being sealed in their foreheads before the angels we're gonna go there. Sorry, we have to go there. I just want to explain. We're gonna be talking about the four winds, because that's what's gonna cause destruction to happen. That's what's destroying the earth. Let's see here. And after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And then there was 144,000 that were sealed. So what I'm not like trying to keep a secret. I'm just going to be blunt and explain what I believe. These people are being sealed in their foreheads right now. And we got to go back to Revelation 12 again. That's the child being born, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was being caught up unto God and to his throne. So I believe that this is something that's going to happen sometime. But I don't really know exactly what that means. I think that actually means what it says. But let's keep going in verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Well, I got to point out that like 18 times... let me go to this picture here. Okay, see this picture? 18 times this capsule has been connected to the space station and been literally cast out into the earth. So that's like, I believe that this should be obvious if a person believes what it says in this book. There's a dragon being cast out into the earth, and then people will say, well, Satan's not a rocket or whatever. And I have to disagree. That he's right here. Yes, it's a metal machine. It's not flesh and blood. And yes, it's one of the rulers of the darkness of this world. Look at the darkness up here. Space. It's one of the rulers of the darkness of this world, and it is spiritual wickedness in heavenly realm, in the sky above our heads. And see, this is after it's been cast out into the earth. It's all burnt because it had to burn its way back into the atmosphere. There. It's being cast out into the earth right there. I'm showing you pictures of things. I mean, this should be so obvious to people. I don't understand why. Actually, I do. And we're going to go into that because I actually have Matthew 13 up there. We're going to talk about that. But I'm learning why people don't see this. Even the people that are bearing witness to the truth are still have a lot of this hidden from them completely. But they're still doing what is written as far as overcoming the beast and singing a new song, the Song of Moses and the Song of the Lamb, using their testimony, and it causes them to be able to overcome the beast. It's all about what they believe. This should be obvious. But, it says right here, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Let's see here. When the dragon saw that he was cast out unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Okay, so there's a war, and we're going to go to Enoch and all that before we go talk about why people can't see it. But because maybe some people can see it because of these things. But okay, so Enoch saw the treasuries of all the winds, and basically I just want to point out that right here, the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of heaven. Okay, and then it says, I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven. They hold up the heavens, the atmosphere. So like if the atmosphere wasn't there, the heavens would fall. They would drop down. And have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. Okay, and then the winds of heaven turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. So let me actually... Oh, I don't have it set up. I was going to show you star trails, but if we've all seen that where there's circles of stars going around Polaris. That's what's making that turn is the four winds. I think it has something to do with the firmament too. I don't know how, but well, actually we can read on here. It says, I saw the path of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. So I don't think he's talking about like the end of the earth left and right. He's talking about the end of the earth where heaven begins, like above us, where heaven starts. And that's actually what it says, I think a little bit later here. He says, I was at the end of heaven and earth or something like that. Where is that? I'm trying to find it here. Maybe that was in another chapter. Oh, right here. Verse 9, and I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth, where the heavens were completed. That's talking about up in the sky. It's not talking about like where a dome hits the ground or something. I don't know if there is such a place, but I know that there's a place where the water has bounds, but I don't know if there's a place where heaven actually comes down and touches the ground. I don't think so. I think it's all above us. The earth is flat, and there's a space above it where the atmosphere gets thin, and that's somewhere there is where the firmament is. And so as far as the firmament being solid, I don't know, or like a piece of glass or something, I don't know. But whatever it is, they're breaching, they're burning their way through it. So, and that's it, and that's where I'm on a different page with the people who think that rockets are fake or something, and that there's not This is what destroys the earth in the end. But we'll get to that. Okay, because Enoch saw that, and I'm going to show you that very clearly right now, that Enoch saw spaceships flying on the four winds of heaven. That's where what did it say? That's where the path of the angels is. And that's at the end of the earth, and I saw at the end of at the end of the earth and the firmament of heaven above. Let's go to Enoch chapter 57 and read about it. And it came to pass after this that I saw another host of wagons with men riding thereon, and coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south. And the noise of their wagons was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it. And the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from one end of the heaven to the other in one day. Okay, that he saw the pillars of the earth were moved from these wagons that were, you can say riding on the winds, or you can just say flying in the sky. It's the same thing, because so he saw wagons with men riding on them up in the sky, riding on the four winds. And what's happening with the four winds in Revelation? Remember, we were looking at Revelation 7. There's these angels holding these winds until the servants of God get sealed in their foreheads, and then when they let go of the winds, it was given to them to hurt the earth and the sea. So that angel said to them, wait, don't do that yet. We have to seal the servants of our God in their foreheads. So that's what I believe is happening right now. And it should be obvious the subject matter that's being revealed. It's God's creation. It's the glory of God being revealed. Let's look at Isaiah 40 and Luke 3. Because it just, it kind of says it in a weird way here. Verse 3, the voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. All flesh is going to see the glory of God being revealed. That's what it says. And let's look at Luke 3 is a place where John the Baptist quoted that. But he said it a little different. Or actually this, I don't know if John the Baptist was saying it this way, but as it is written in the books of the words of Isaiah the prophet, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord, make his path straight. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough ways shall be made smooth. And all flesh shall see the salvation of God. Let me do something really quick. I'm getting off on a tangent, but this is the wrong version and everything. I want to do KJV, and I want to do, I just forgot what I was looking for. Salvation. let's see here. I can't remember which one I was looking for. Salvation is, it's in Isaiah. That's what I was looking for. Oh boy, there's 26 of them in here. 49. Okay. Isaiah 49 verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. That would be, I'm thinking that would be talking about Jesus. But if you look at, let's just go to the full chapter. This is not talking about, this could be talking about Jesus, but it's not only talking about Jesus. This is talking about his children. Well, like right here, it's talking about Jesus, I think. But let me find what. Sorry, I'm just looking. I didn't prepare to do this, but maybe I'm in the wrong chapter. I think it's 48, maybe. I'm thinking of. Thou hast heard, see all this, and will ye not declare it? I've showed thee new things from this time, even hidden things, and thou didst not know them. They are created now, and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldst say, behold, I knew them. Okay, there's something that's been hidden. Oh, that's where I was, what was that? I did a video on it. 2nd Esdras, I think that's the one right there. We'll go to 7. Let's see. New Jerusalem, guys. I'm not saying that flat earth is New Jerusalem, but it's like preparing the way for New Jerusalem. Right here, verse 26. Look, the time is coming when the signs appear that I told you about in advance, and the city will appear, appearing as a bride, and the land that is now hidden will be openly displayed. So that's, to me, that's this right here. Even hidden things, thou didst not know them. Okay, back to Revelation. We have to go to Revelation 12. Whoops. Oh yeah, and then Revelation 14, actually, I should go to instead. Because this child being born, I think it's the servants of God being sealed in their foreheads. And look right here. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders. So they're singing a song before the throne. They're with the Lamb on Mount Sion. So somehow it's seeming to me that as they sing this song, and by that I mean as they go around and tell people, hey, the earth is flat, we've been lied to. As they're doing that they're not doing that only on the earth. They're doing that in heaven too. I'm not saying I'm not trying to say this in like some weird mystical way. I'm saying that, we're going to go to Matthew I put it in the description for this video, but we're going to look at it really quick. Matthew 18. The war that Michael's fighting with in heaven, dragon. Okay, I'm going to go back to this image. Okay, I hope you're seeing my screen. Okay, yeah, it looks like you are. Okay, this dragon capsule flies on the four winds of heaven, and when it comes back in, this is what it looks like when it got back down. So all this burning happens because it's moving 17,500 miles an hour, and it has to go from that to 0 miles an hour in a matter of time. And coming into the atmosphere like that burns the heck out of anything. So, and like we all have seen something flying through the sky, like on TV at least, like a meteor or something like that, and they go in like a perfectly straight line, and they're just bright lit up. That's because of the heat created from trying to basically hitting the air that fast. Like it's outrageous speed. That's what the whole idea of a rocket is to reach those high speeds. And the way I see it, what they're really doing is they're just hitching a ride with the course of, what was it? The path of the angels. They're just hitching a ride on the path of the angels. Like they're riding the four winds, literally. And so when Satan manifests as dragon, and he goes up and fights with those four angels, I'm being like extra specific. I'm not saying it happens exactly this way, but I'm saying this is my understanding. Those four angels are good angels, and they're like God's angels, and they're holding back the winds, because apparently when they let go of those winds, that's going to hurt the earth and the sea and the trees, and that's going to be bad when that happens. But before that happens, there's servants of God that are going to get sealed in their forehead, and they're going to be singing a new song that the world can't learn. What I'm just trying to say is that all this is happening. Like, I've heard a lot of people talking about a coming deception, and that just means they're deceived. They're still deceived, even if they see the truth. If they're bearing witness to the truth, they're being deceived by dragon. Because if you're not looking up going, oh, that's not good for the earth. Let me show you some videos, or a video. Let me go back to video. Right? Video? Okay. Let's see. What do I have that I can show you? You're probably, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm just trying to find a video really quick. And I haven't checked out the chat or anything yet, because I wanted to make sure that I kind of explain this whole thing. Let's see here. I got it. My computer's being really slow, or actually it's not that bad. I'm just trying to show you what's happening to the sky. I guess this ain't the best video, but it'll work. Uh-oh, where did it go? We're gonna have to go through a few to find it, I guess. Oh man. Maybe it's this one? Oh man. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Oh, maybe it's this one? No. Okay, forget that idea. This one? No? This one? No? Okay, I tried. So I'm going to check out the chat. Just one time 562. How you doing? Firmament described as molten looking glass. Yeah. The amateur rocket hitting the dome. To me, that is just not. It's not. It's just wrong. The rocket has stages, so the rocket will like blast off from like the booster. Oh, I got desktop showing. I don't know what I have showing in the background. Anyway, hey, the Johnsburg too. Thank you. Oh, Norway. I remember that. Oh yeah. Could that be Antarctica? I've thought about that. Well, I think, I don't know how it works, but it would have to be there if the dome was going to be like touching the ground, which I don't see it that way. But like if it was a molten looking glass, it would be kind of like that. But I'm seeing it maybe a little different than being physical. Like, I think it's a lack of physical. Like they say that space is a vacuum, or it's a near vacuum. Well, if you think about a near vacuum, you can blast off. Hey, Adrian. Good to see you too. If you blast off into a vacuum, like a huge space, are you even moving after that? Are you moving? If there's nothing there to move in, like, are you moving? It doesn't make any sense. How do you measure 10 feet in a vacuum? Because there's nothing in there. There isn't 10 feet in a vacuum. That's the whole thing, is that the idea of a vacuum just doesn't work. Yeah, Operation Fishbowl, that's some interesting stuff too. Definitely. What was the other? I was actually just watching a video. Scott Manley just did a video about nukes, or different ways that nukes have been tried or used or whatever. Or, yeah, nuclear explosions, but which is a whole nother topic. But yeah, I hope I explained that somewhat decent. The four winds, however they hold the heavens up, they are the pillars of heaven. They hold the heavens up. So whatever the four winds are, like we could put an X there, okay? So we're gonna do a formula. Like X is the four winds, and when X gets let loose, then destruction comes. Like when you move the pillars that are holding the heaven up, and you like hit them with a sledgehammer and knock them to pieces, then the heaven doesn't have anything for the path of the angels to be supported, and for all the whole way God made it for it to work. Doesn't work if you take and loose them four winds, apparently. So that's when everything changes, and that's why space travel is, they're just climbing into Sheol. They're what is it? Enoch says they're sinking into Sheol, and it's swallowing them up. So that's what I see. But I think I'm going to call it quits. So yeah, that's one more other thing. I appreciate all you guys too for like that. This subject is not like very interesting to me. Like, it's been like 3 or 4 years where I've been rockets. Like, who cares? But they are the problem. They are the way that the kings of the earth have manifest, and they're being used by God as a device to destroy Babylon. And what does it mean to destroy Babylon? That means to destroy space. Well, what is it? It's the bottomless pit. It's going to turn into fire. It's going to turn into a endless fire, a lake of fire. And all the people that are space fan people, they're going to sink right in with it. They're going to be sucked right into the abyss. They already are. If you have a conversation with any of them on YouTube or something, they're already in love with that darkness, and they're decided on it. They love it. They want it. They need it. They argue for it. They fight for it. They battle for it. And Matthew, this is okay. I forgot about this. Matthew 18. Let me just read something. Verse 18, Jesus said, "Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." There's okay, I'm just Joe in my physical body, in my basement, sitting here with a microphone and a computer and a cat sleeping over there and my cell phone here and my Bible here, some cleaning wipes here. Like, this is a very physical, material manifestation of a person. I'm just trying to use myself for an example. But there's much more than my sunglasses and my hat and my microphone. There's much more than that here in this room. There's much more. And I think you all know what I'm talking about. It's just that we are spirits, or we have souls. Like, that's what makes us different from each other. That's what makes us wake up the next day as an individual, is that we are individual. Like, so there's a physical and material part that's very apparent. Like, if you cut yourself, you're gonna bleed, and if you don't walk down the steps right, you're gonna fall. Like, these are very physical, binding laws and rules that we have. And the dream of all these occultist NASA thinking is to ascend above that physical, material, binding world. And so that's how they see it. They think there's freedom up in heaven, and they can go there on their own. Well, I'll tell you what, there is freedom in heaven, but you can't get there on your own. That's the problem. And heaven is not that dark, black space that we were all taught is the universe. That's not heaven. Heaven's above that. That's where God's feet are, is above that darkness. His throne sits way up there. And it's real. That's why I said, like, a lot of Christians, if you say, "Where's God's throne?" You're like, "Oh, it's in your heart." Boy, they make something up. They're like, "No, really, where's God's throne? Do you believe the Bible? Where's God's throne?" It's up there. It's up in the sky. It's in heaven. That's where Jesus is. He's right up there in the sky. So then all these people that are climbing on rockets or sending up rockets, they're just blaspheming God. They're among many other bad things. They're trying to climb up their own way. They're thieves and robbers. But all right, the other part of Matthew, I keep forgetting. I should probably just go back to the desktop so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Okay. Whoops, wrong one. And look at this. He was talking, this is in Matthew 13, and he was talking to a multitude of people and telling them a parable of the sower. And in verse 11, he answered, or the disciples asked him, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" And he answered and said unto them, "Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand." And then he's saying that it's a fulfillment of prophecy. "By hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, that I should heal them." This verse is so important. Let's look at this verse in another version. Let's look at in, what's that one? The English Standard Version. What verse was that? Verse 15. "For this people's heart has grown dull, and with their ears they can barely hear, and their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn, repent, and I would heal them." What's another there's another version that I really liked the wording on. Let's just try the NASB really quick, because it's talking about saving people. For the heart of this people has become dull. With their ears they scarcely hear, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise they would see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and return, and I would heal them. I just think people, if they don't believe what it says, when they read it, oh, that's another verse. What verse is that one where the devil snatches it away? I don't remember where it said that. But it, when the words of the kingdom come to someone and they don't understand them, the devil comes and snatches away that which they did understand. So, hey, Stuart Pound, how you doing? Good to see you. But I'm going to end the stream. So I just wanted to try to explain that it's a physical war up in heaven that's happening. And it's going to be real physical results of it. And it's described in Revelation what it is. Enoch went into great detail of what it was. Oh, that's... I'll get to that in another video. But Enoch chapter 60 is when the Lord's patience finally wears out, and Michael shows that to Enoch, and Enoch faints, and he couldn't stand, and because couldn't stand the fear. So anyway, all right, guys, you all have a good day, and I will probably pop on sometime later.